We go over to night number 2, and let's start at the bottom this time on the ESPN portion. Femi and Brock Lesnar is the first match, which might be the most anticipated of either night of WrestleMania. This is another, this is really an A-plus build. It's probably the most interesting match they have promoted for Lesnar in forever. And I'm sorry, there is one finish to this match, and it is Femi winning. But I will say this caveat. I think you could definitely lean into just the pure shock value and do something similar to the Goldberg win over Brock in Toronto, where it's quick, it's shocking, and gets everyone buzzing. And that also does leave the door open for these two to do a rematch, because I have a hard time imagining this is one and done between these two. And I don't know if you do a series of matches here, but this one has to be Femi winning. I just think it would be so detrimental to do we're going to build up. He's going to get his win down the road. No, this one, he's got to win this match. It's maybe the most eyes on any match this year could be on this one. It's possible. And I think this is all about making Femi. And if he beats Brock in like a minute, there will be some that might be disappointed that it's that short. Maybe you don't go as low as 60 seconds, but I think you want just that shocking win and the anointing of this is our next star in Femi.
Yeah. It's certainly very possible. Yeah, if you want to make a statement with Femi, yeah. I still think they see value in Brock Lesnar to maybe not squash him, first of all,
he gets his heat back though. If you are going to do the bigger match at a future one, or do you see this one as one and done?
You're not going to find a bigger stage than this, to do a match like this. What's their next Saudi show?
Well, it's supposed to be in June, but that show is very much in doubt because of the situation overseas. So, but that is where they're supposed to be doing 2 Saudi shows this year before Mania.
Yeah. So I certainly don't expect this one to go past 10 minutes, or anything like that. But but just because of the nature of ESPN, I wonder if they'll want to extend it a little bit longer rather than have something quick. Obviously the entrances will probably take up a good amount of time as well. But I can think that they would want the most anticipated match to be on screen a little bit longer. So I'm expecting maybe a big, nice, impactful 5 minutes. For these two, with Femi getting a dominant win. Do you completely write out the idea of perhaps Gunther, who we're presuming will beat Seth Rollins on the night prior, maybe cashing in on whatever favor, or at least drawing some hint towards his connection with Brock Lesnar that we're all presuming?
If you were to do something involving Gunther, that to me is a angle you'd save for Raw. I just think any kind of interference in this, you will really sour people on this. Do they really have something lightning in a bottle with this? And I think you just want to deliver to people this is the coronation of Femi as our big star. And I think this is the place to do it. And you could do an angle on Monday. But I think it's 5 minutes max. That would be my expectation. Would
you have any what sort of physicality would you have Femi take from Brock?
Very little. I think you almost want to set it up in a way, not exactly like the Darby. Maybe Darby Brody King is more, MJF and Brody King is more the equivalent, where it's just Brock is just overwhelmed and
I think you get F5 off the bat and he just stands right up. He no-sells the F5. Certainly no suplex city or anything like that. Or maybe he no-sells, a German suplex or two, too. And just
I like that. And that's kind of the Lesnar playbook. You just spam the finishers, and the idea that Oba just gets up and boom, fall from grace. And the idea is that anyone disappointed that it's short enough, it's overridden by just the total shock factor. And they nailed it with the Goldberg Lesnar match at Survivor Series. That was there were some complaints it was short, but the legacy of that match was it was a bold booking decision. And what did it do for Lesnar? It created a huge interest in that program and a rematch after the fact that they could go to. And the idea that, he caught him, it was a fluke, and that won't happen next time. So I think there's a lot of mileage to this one. And I thought their segment on Monday was just outstanding, especially for Femi.
Yeah. So would you have him cut a promo or say that for Monday? Oba?
Yeah. I'd have him on Monday. He cut that great promo Monday, but I have a lot of confidence in him now as a speaker after hearing that on Monday. He will probably be the big star on Monday's show, and I would do a big segment with Oba Femi, whether it's to shoot an angle for what's next for him or just he's coming out, because this guy, like that entrance at Mania, this should be a spectacular entrance that he has at the very least.
Yeah.
Ladder match for the Intercontinental title, Penta defending against Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. So, this has the potential to be incredible. Between Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rey Mysterio he'll probably be him and Penta will be super over, and Rey doesn't have to kill himself in this match, I hope. God knows if they put him into a match on SmackDown, they're really tempting fate like they did last year. Let's just save him. He can just be he can be on commentary for SmackDown if needed. Where do you see this one going?
I see Penta retaining. I think there's just more upside to him with this run right now, rather than putting it on anybody else in this field.
No one here feels like they need the belt or are ready for it in the case of a Javon Evans. That Javon winning his first main roster belt, I just don't see it happening in this kind of a scenario.
Yeah. Penta gets the championship afterwards, but it's for somebody like a JD or Dragon Lee, I wonder if they even expect it to be on the card. So it's already net positive for them, and Rusev included in that as well. I'm looking for a highlight reel thing from Javon Evans. Like that is his WrestleMania moment, his big...
What they didn't give him at Elimination Chamber, which we thought he would have his big highlight moment. Hopefully, he should get it here. I think Dragon Lee is going to really show out here. JD could, this should be excellent. I think Rusev, this is definitely his biggest match since coming back to the company, and he's had a pretty underwhelming year.
Yeah, maybe some Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio double teaming, maybe like a triple team thing with the Luchadors against Rusev, perhaps. So this will be fun.
We're gonna get the Penta Destroyer off the ladder, with the Young Bucks, aren't we?
Yeah. So this is the last match in the kickoff, but I don't expect it to close the kickoff. Same with the last match on the first night. I expect this to be in the middle of the show. I think Cena kicks off or ends the kickoff, bleeding into the main show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. You're not saying the match bleeds into...
No. I don't think they're doing that.
I don't think so either. I think it might... Cena's a good bridge. You're right. Cena just makes his entrance at the end of the kickoff, and then that kicks off the show proper, maybe. You could do. So you're probably going to get... the length of these shows, a lot of it will be contingent on how much Cena is scheduled for various segments on this show. Because
what is the opening segment of WrestleMania? It'll be John Cena. Who do you have in?
It's
Cena?
It's Paul Levesque one night, and it's John Cena the other. Maybe Stephanie as well. They have to be all over this, right?
Yeah. I'm expecting, as far as Cena goes, a Danhausen interaction. I wonder if we'll get a Gunther interaction with Cena. I think they should at least share a look backstage or something like that. Right?
Possible. Just calls him you little bitch. Jade Cargill against Rhea Ripley for the women's championship. I feel we say this for every big Jade Cargill match. This is a really big match for her. This is one that I think this one will have been laid out very, very strategically. And it would seem like it's the time to give Rhea a run with this belt. She is so over, and I don't feel we focus enough on just how incredibly popular this woman is. Just not among the women, among everyone on this roster as well. I guess the question is among the babyface wins when you look at them on nights 1 and 2, if they go with it here versus Jade just being the dominant monster that hands Rhea a loss. But it kind of feels like this is due for a Ripley win.
I think so too. Especially if it means she goes on SmackDown where she kind of have a fresher palette of opponents, for her versus Jade, who, they really have not done a whole lot with, with this run. But maybe it shows a bit of a lack of confidence in her to have those bigger matches with an Alexa Bliss or a Charlotte, perhaps. Nonetheless, I do think it's time for Rhea to take the reins. I'm certainly expecting at this point a lot of Asuka, Io, perhaps Kairi interaction in this match as well to really kind of flesh things out. Maybe
are Meechin and BFAB in the mix, or was that pretty much a write-off after Friday?
I feel like Asuka and Kairi may be the new Meechin and BFAB.
Yeah, they might. We might just never hear from Meechin and BFAB again. Do you are you expecting a good match out of these two? And
I always expect
over or under
match.
12 minutes.
I'm gonna say under on a show like this, but I think for every WrestleMania match, you should expect a good match. It is the biggest stage. There aren't many of these matches even on the show. As I say, like, like there are 6 to 7, but like still, these are really coveted spots. I don't think there could be a bad match. There should never be a bad match on the show.
All right, then we go to the next one up here is Sami Zayn, Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Everyone's talking about like a double turn here. I think like we've seen that. Like it's pretty much been
the audience is already recognizing it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's not to the level of Oba, but this to me, like I would be putting Trick over here. I think this would just be like the final exclamation point of this guy being a major post WrestleMania star that they are going to feature. It's not the worst thing in the world that this guy could be linked with Sami Zayn to work with, but what does that even mean in this day and age? It's not like they're going to be going to the house shows and working together every night. And it's like, okay, they continue a feud. That means like 2 more matches over the next like 2 months. So I could just see Trick winning this and moving on. I think Zayn is going to be a compelling figure regardless. I'm interested in this kind of shift in his character that he really didn't have a whole lot for this Mania season, and look what he made out of it. Like, he made, like, knocking over water bottles was his direction for, like, 6 weeks, and he made that part, like, interesting, like, this inter-turmoil that he had to battle.
You're talking about a guy who made a Johnny Knoxville feud compelling, right? And not to mention just everything he did with the Bloodline way exceeding, I think, whatever is given to him. So he's just got an incredible ability to just be entertaining no matter what he's doing. And I actually expect Zayn to retain,
Okay.
I think Trick simply entering is going to be a very memorable moment. I in fact think this should kick off night 2, and you just start the show off like going from Cena to the Trick Williams entrance, which will be insane in that building. I feel
the two of them interacting could be something as well. Yeah. I would expect Trick to be on that list of, like, in terms of like big time entrances. Like, I would want to have, like, Trick would be one of those. I think
he's this year's
candidate.
Like he's this year's like Jey Uso as far as like big, incredible like entrance songs goes. But like I look, even though the audience is already like 10 steps ahead and fully recognizing the double turn, I think they will confirm it in the body of the match itself, resulting in Zayn like just kind of fully embracing the dark side in order to win. Whereas I think Trick like still has plenty of time, in his career to get these sort of like big wins on the stage. He's still got something going on with Carmelo following this, I feel, that they have to tie up.
Yeah, that's, there's a lot of focus on sort of, you almost have like Paul Levesque did that interview the other day, well, one of his many, and talking almost like acknowledging the fact that, we are a little bit past like the peak, and now we're looking at like that transition to the next wave, and Trick and Oba are certainly in that mix of sort of, some of these call-ups and others that are ready for, like, this is, when you look at these main event players, like, it's not even an age thing. It's just like years on top to your audience that you want to constantly be refreshing that. And there are some real candidates here. Trick still has like shortcomings in the ring, but from a personality standpoint, like, he's a 10. And with Oba, I mean, there's like, it's really hard for you to nitpick Oba Femi at this point.
They're both starting at an incredible place, for people starting on the main roster. And you look at the comparison between this and a pre 2.0 era NXT as a developmental system, where like they'd invest all this time into Gargano and Ciampa only to like turn them into tag team nothing low card guys. These guys now are entering directly into at least an upper mid card to a main event status.
All right, let's go to the Demon, Finn Balor against Dominik Mysterio. Will they have the foresight to let the Demon entrance occur when the sun has gone down?
Oh boy, I hope so. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I certainly hope so. Daytime Demon, might not be like a brunch Demon. I don't know if that'd be as cool. So. I think
the outcome is pretty solidified here. I do not see the Demon losing this one. I guess the question is, like, this is one of those where, like, if they were like running short on time, you could see this one being 40 seconds. Do you expect a real match here out of these two, or is this all about the entrance?
I think the Demon is always so tricky because like you want to like bill him as something more than Finn, and therefore it's hard to like book him to look weak, right? But I do expect this to, because it is a Finn Balor Dominik match. I expect it to, I don't know, be at least 10. But 5 minutes for the entrance, perhaps.
Does Dominik get a big entrance?
He,
Maybe he does his version of the Trouble music video.
Yes, maybe. Yes, some form of that. Yeah,
Dom Trouble.
Yeah, I'm again, like we've heard Finn Balor talk about like maybe some frustrations with the demon character and having to justify it versus it being a cool war paint type of entrance.
Yeah.
I wonder if in ring he'll address that at all and frame any of this differently, maybe by wrestling a more standard style. Not sure, but I'm not as interested in this as I felt I would be, but I'm sure it'll still be a great entrance.
Do you think it was a wise move to advertise the demon part in advance? Because I don't know if this adds any more interest to it versus it just being like, it would be a cool little bonus feature into the match that he comes out as the demon. Or do you care either way?
I think the effect will be similar either way. And they probably wondered if it would add a few tickets, to know that this was happening.
Like, what's that process like? Does Finn Balor like explain in advance to Adam Pearce is like, it's going to be my alter ego that is going to accept this match, and I'm going to go into a darker place for this one match. If you could advertise it as such,
make the Chiron ready for. Well, he's got an elaborate entrance. The demon needs to communicate with the lighting team, of course, right?
Yeah, maybe he needs Liv Morgan's choreography team from the music video to prepare for the entrance, and Dom won't get to shoot his video this week.
Yeah, we're we're doing rehearsals. Can somebody find the demon in the back?
So you're gonna be you're dead. Fucking alive, because inside the fire rages and fucking indigestion and fucking vroom and brum, and then the smoke and fucking dry ice and fucking Dom's in the ring, fucking doesn't know what the hell the fucking demon means, and I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, Paul. Okay. And then our main event: CM Punk, Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's do the over/under game again here. Let's go 30 minutes. On this match, over under.
I'm gonna say over.
Yeah,
I think it's the biggest match of the weekend.
Yeah, I could see this one be. Do you feel this has been like the number one match in terms of build up for Mania? Does this one exceed Lesnar and Oba to most?
For me, yes. Because it's hard for me to compare the two because that one has, I think, been a lot less built. Like it's really just a match that's kind of made just by what it is, right?
I think those two, like, they did all the work in the lead up and they have the least amount, I feel, to have to deliver in the match. Like, I think you can, like, this is one you've got to deliver, like, the big main event match that no one is expecting Brock and Oba to have to put in 25 minutes or whatever it is. Like, this has to close the show. It's, Punk as over as he is, like, you can see, like, he is, this guy's in his late 40s and like these lengthy matches are, you can see the trials the man is putting himself through. He looks like he's been getting in great shape in the lead up to this. And I think it's an outcome. You can definitely debate pros and cons of either one winning this championship, but I'm leaning toward them going with the title change here. I don't know if you extend this Punk reign that much further. I can't say like I'm dying to see another Reigns title run at this point. And I don't know what the reaction will be like to that. I don't think most people have really thought of like what does the Reigns title run look like the second time around, or at least this latest version of. But it kind of feels like this is all poised for Reigns to have some big matches this year, whether it's with Oba Femi, whether it's with Gunther.
Brock Lesnar.
A Brock, like, I hate to say Brock, but like, if you're looking at Brock's last run of matches, do they run back Reigns one more time? You'd expect the title to be in there. Whereas Punk, I think, is less tied to needing the championship, and he's got other programs that he can get involved with or whatnot. But yeah, that's my thought, that Reigns gets this win. But obviously the booking of this one will be interesting to see, and if there's any outside involvement in this match.
Yeah, as far as outside involvement goes, like, what do we like? Who's even like in their realm that you could see doing that?
McAfee.
Well, yes, I guess so. That would be a major turnoff for a lot of people. But yeah, like, could there be Pat McAfee involvement in both nights of WrestleMania?
If there is not some
they laid the ground for that.
If there is not some Punk Pat McAfee match at some point this year, it's really perplexing what they have done the last 2 weeks.
Well, they should certainly do it now if that wasn't planned before, because I would say that there'd probably be a healthy amount of interest for it at this point. But as far as this match goes, I think Roman wins. I mean, they've kind of been somewhat teasing, to me at least, some form of bloodline reunion. You know, at the very least with Roman and the Usos. Now you got Sami Zayn as a heel. Well,
could that be like the final image of WrestleMania is all the Samoans out with Roman, and it's like they stand tall.
The tribal chief is back. Yeah,
he's back.
Bow to him.
Like the whole story has been like CM Punk against the family, and that closing image, and it's like the first time you've seen Roman with Solo in over a year, with the Usos out there. Like who knows what else? But that could be like a strong visual to end the show. Yes.
Yeah.
Rikishi on the closing shot of WrestleMania. And he's got to drive out in a car, right? And
of course. Yeah. Hummer. Yeah. Hummer. Yeah. I just think, like, just to freshen things up, I think, you know, Punk has, like, done very well. He was never supposed to be champion, you know, as far as we know, up until this point. But
that's right.
He's achieved this. He's achieved his dream of now twice main eventing. There's no debate about this one. He's headlining night 2, so he is the actual main event of WrestleMania. You know,
next year he's got to up the stakes. He's got to headline both nights, which Cody was able to do.
That is true. Yeah, but I think Dwayne, does Dwayne show up if we get that closing scene of the tribal chief?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I feel as we get closer to Showtime, there's going to be everyone buzzing about the potential of a Dwayne appearance. It's just
I fucking hope not. I think he would just overshadow it all.
He would definitely overshadow whatever there is to be. But I mean, let's not forget, like next year, Saudi Arabia, like that's going to reheat the potential of like doing that elusive Dwayne Johnson Roman Reigns match. Like that's going to be discussed next year for sure. And I would argue, like if Dwayne doesn't wrestle at next year's show, I don't think he's ever wrestling again. Like I think next year is probably the now or never WrestleMania for Dwayne Johnson. So I'm sure that will heat up in months.
But I see Roman winning this one. Bloodline is back. And who does, you know, what do they each pair off with? I wonder.
Yeah. Do they rebrand themselves? Whole line of merchandise to introduce to a whole new era now? The
like a bloodier line.
Yeah, the fuck around and find out reign of Roman. Sure. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Yeah. So there you go. That is your WrestleMania preview. It is WrestleMania month at postwrestling.com. Wei Ting and John Pollock go live all WrestleMania week beginning Monday, April the 13th. Sign up for the Post Wrestling Cafe and you will get live shows all week long leading into our coverage that weekend of WrestleMania 42. This month, we're also bringing you reviews of Spring Break 2 from New Orleans in 2018 and a special Patrons Pick edition of Rewind Away. Sign up now at postwrestlingcafe.com, and this month, new subscribers get 50% off for the first month. Head on over to postwrestlingcafe.com.